Exactly 3 weeks ago today, as major American cities were consumed by rioting and looting, Joe Biden delivered this message.
The country is crying out for leadership. Leadership that can unite us, leadership that brings us together. When we stand together, finally as one America, we'll rise stronger than we were before. We'll move that arc closer to justice.
Now, no one who has studied politics longer than about 5 minutes really believes this. Now, Biden has been in office for, what, 40-plus years? So what has he been spending his time doing? And I could have sworn a buddy of his promised to do all this, what was it, 12 years ago?
I am absolutely certain that generations from now, we will be able to look back and tell our children that this was the moment when we began to provide care for the sick and good jobs to the jobless. This was the moment when the rise of the oceans began to slow and our planet began to heal.
Wait, the planet was starting to heal? What the heck happened? Well, I guess Joe's kind of admitting that none of that worked out. And I can say tonight, if Obama, with his star power and political skill, couldn't do any of that, Lord knows Joe can't. He couldn't lead a retirement home sing-along, let alone the largest military superpower on earth. A unifying force he is not. Evident just in the past 3 weeks when Biden's campaign has tacitly thrown in with the Marxist BLM and Antifa forces. They're taking radical, violent action to do what Obama pledged he would do through policymaking in 2008, remake America. Now, in this case, if it requires disrupting elections, they'll do it. If it requires intimidating businesses and individuals to pledge their money and loyalty to this twisted mission, they'll do it. If it requires allowing anarchists to burn buildings, desecrate churches, destroy art, literature, movies, monuments, rename towns and cities, and even the country itself, they'll do it. And as this mayhem has been carried out coast to coast, we've heard nary a peep from Joe Biden, who is obviously incapable of truly campaigning in the traditional sense. Statues of presidents revered even by Obama himself are being pulled down. Now, this is all sheer insanity. I know you wake up in the morning and you think, oh my God, what kind of country? What country is this I'm living in? It's like some dystopian movie you're watching over and over again. And that's the way most normal Americans feel. But it's all necessary, this chaos and mayhem, if your goal is to start the nation over. Begin it all at day zero. They believe you have to annihilate the old traditions to prime the population for a new normal. Biden, to the extent he even understands what's going on at all, seems totally fine with this. And to co-opt one of their most tedious mantras, his silence is violence. Violence against the political, historical, and cultural landmarks of our nation. Joe says nothing when day after day these macchiato Maoists are taking over city blocks, terrorizing small business owners, assaulting innocent Americans just because they can. He says he supports the good police officers out there, but he's mute when videos fly around social media like these.
Kill black people all the damn time, every mother day, every day.
Shame! You are the shame of your family.
You're white and you're telling this to 2 black police officers.
Yeah.
Do you see the problem with that a little bit?
They're a part of the problem. Just because they're black doesn't mean they're not a part of the problem.
Doesn't she sound like a lot of fun on a Saturday night? Do you know why Biden doesn't speak out forcefully against any of this? Because he can't afford to offend these hemp-wearing nasties. They're the closest thing he has to an actual campaign base. They have energy, they're well organized, they're well funded, and they do what Biden himself will not do. They'll fly all over America to mix it up, and they'll try to bait Donald Trump into action. They'll all vote for Biden. Of course they will. None of them are going to vote for Trump. And Biden's just fine with that. He needs that. In fact, one of Biden's only attempts to condemn the violence and destruction was way back on May 31st. He said, "We're a nation in pain, but we must not allow this pain to destroy us. We are a nation exhausted, but we will not allow our exhaustion to defeat us." Weak, tepid, pro forma. Corn Pop would have done a more convincing job than that. The National Police Officers Association is abandoning Biden, which is especially stunning since its members only backed Obama in 2008 and 2012 because Biden was on the ticket. Now Biden's silence, well, it just emboldens people like this.
Spit in his food. Spit in his food. Put a tampon in his frappuccino. All of that. If these people ever come to your place of work, make sure you treat them like poison they give them diarrhea. All right? If you see any
The main point that everyone watching this tonight needs to understand really clearly. Biden equals chaos. His campaign team thinks that he can ride this violent anarchy into power, right into the White House again. But far from being a uniting force, a Biden presidency would usher in a time of division and distrust unlike anything we've experienced in our lifetimes, even worse than what's happening right now. Because his election will not lead to more calm, but it's going to lead to unrest, not just in our beleaguered cities, but everywhere. And it's going to follow you into your place of work, into your place of worship, into your kids' schools. His entire appeal to moderate voters is that, well, Biden's this nice old man who will have a calming effect during these turbulent times. But electing him will not satisfy the violent radicals. It will only embolden them. And their aim is to undermine our faith in essential institutions and our founding principles. Will the American people really allow that to happen? I highly doubt it. This will require that President Trump speak confidently about his plans for the future, how things are already getting better, how Biden will make things worse and more toxic, and how we're still one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And he's just getting started. And that's the angle.